morning, boys and girls. This video is for Wednesday, April 29th. So this morning, instead of doing our normal Magic Treehouse book, we're going to skip that today because we're doing our social studies, and there's quite a bit of reading involved. So what I've done is I've taken our regular social studies book and copied the pages that you're going to need from this chapter. So we're going to be doing America's Pioneers. So your book will not be in color, but it looks the same as this. So it says America's Pioneers. So you're going to be reading page 112, which you don't really have to read. You just have to look at the picture, up to and including page 118. Now there are questions here, and these are the questions that are in your little booklet. So you're going to read that first, and usually when you read with a partner and you trade off. So if you're having a little bit of trouble, get a partner, someone from home to read with you if you're having trouble. So as you go along, usually what we do is we go to our little booklet and we do a page in that. So what we're going to be doing is do you remember Pioneers? Yours will be stapled. And you're going to be doing these questions. So what I suggest you do is read the questions first, and then when you come to them in the book, you go ahead and answer them as you go. It's easier that way. Now, don't try to answer the questions before you read the book, even if you know the answers. If you know the answer, just keep that in mind and say, I think I know the answer, and then when you come to it in your book, go ahead and read it. That's how you do reading comprehension for history and social studies and science, even as you get older. So I want you to learn how to do it the right way. Now, when you get to question 5, it's going to ask you, were pioneer families always able to take with them everything they owned? Now, that's a yes or no question, but I always expect on yes or no questions in this format for you to explain why. So if you say yes, you explain why you know that. If you say no, then put a comma and explain why the answer is no. I've also attached a video of a YouTuber reading a book about prairie days that's a kind of a continuation of Little House in the Big Woods. So I was reading you Little House in the Big Woods, which was the chapter book, and some people have taken some of those Little House books and put them into picture books. So the next book after Little House in the Big Woods is Little House on the Prairie, which is when Laura and Mary and her family head west in a covered wagon. So you're going to be listening to one of those stories, which is a picture book. So it's kind of like one chapter in that longer book. So I put that on the website. You can either do that before or after you do your reading assignment for our lesson. So now today for our math, we're not going to be doing our regular math book. I would like you to go on your computer and either do your accelerated math or your freckle math. Or if you're one of those people who are trying to finish up your math facts, adding and subtracting, you can do your rocket math. Now remember, do either one assignment in accelerated math, 15 minutes in rocket math, or 15 minutes in freckle math, at least. If you want to do more than one, that's fine. Remember in accelerated math to do for school use, and make sure if you have a test to do that first. For your handwriting today, we're going to be doing the letter Y. So for the uppercase Y, by the way, this is on page 66, day 3, you're going to start it almost like you did the U. So you're going to curve it around, down, up. Now go straight down and loop it, just like you do this part's just like the lowercase. Now, you can go ahead and connect that letter if you have a word that starts with uppercase Y. Now, when you do the lowercase, you're going to start kind of like an N, where you make a hump and then do your Y and connect it. Now your last activity for the day is you're going to be making an album quilt. Now what's going to happen is each person makes one quilt square and we put it all together. Now the reason we're doing this is because quilts play a big part in the pioneers. It's where they started, quilts started out with pioneers, and a lot of times what pioneers would do is they would take scraps of fabric they had left over and make a patchwork quilt. So all these little boxes might be different kinds of fabric that they had cut out. And also, it was kind of like a scrapbook for them because they could remember some of the clothes that they'd had in the past, and sometimes they would even make a picture by painting on it or embroidering, which is kind of like a sewing a picture on it. And we'll probably read another story that kind of tells about quilt later on. But I want to just start off by doing a, kind of like an art project that has to do with our social studies that we did today. You have 2 days to do this. So for today, I would like you to do the middle part. So you're going to put your name here. And the sample for Ben, he drew a picture of himself doing karate. So you're going to put your name here, and you're going to draw a picture of yourself in this large square doing something you like to do. So now if it was me, I might draw a picture of myself cooking or making scrapbooks or doing some gardening, something that I like to do. So it's going to be personal to you. You're not going to do what I like to do. You're going to do what you like to do. So you're going to draw and color that. Then tomorrow, I'm going to tell you how to do the rest. We're going to be coloring it, cutting it out, and gluing it on our construction paper. But today, if you could just get started in doing your picture and make sure you color that in. If you want to keep going and start coloring your quilt, you can. When you color it, you need to at least use 2 or more different colors and don't put the same color next to each other. But we'll talk about how to finish this up tomorrow. Okay, boys and girls, for our optional recess activity, I'm going to leave some pictures of how to do shadow art. And what you do is you need a flashlight or some kind of light source. I'm using my projector. And you take your hands and you put them in a certain position, and you can make like a little animal, like this sort of looks like a bird. And I'm going to give you some pictures that you could try to copy and try this out at home.